So now let me give you an overview of how the interface looks like. When I open Gen5, the first thing you will see is the task manager. To access the plate database or the plate definition database, I'm going to close this task manager by clicking this button on the top left corner. And I'm going to the system menu, plate types. And here is my plate database in which, as I told you, I have over 150 predefined plate types. As you can see, we have a long list. It's a list that can be sorted by different filters. Here, I'm going to click on the well column, and you can see that you have access to what is defined here as a one well plate type. That would be, for example, a flask. And if I scroll down, you will find all of your typical 24 well plates, 96 well plates, and higher density vessels as well. You can sort these also by name. Typically, these are defined by the manufacturer first. And so if you know your vessel manufacturer, it's an easy way to find your vessel in that list. You can also sort by a feature called favorite that allows you to define some of these vessels as your favorites so that you can easily find them in that long list. You will notice, if I sort by name, that some of these start with the word default, which is what you see right here. It's important to know that these are used for other biotech systems and are not the best place to start for imaging. So it is not recommended to use the default plate types to start an imaging definition like we're going to see now. As you can see on this interface, you have some very standard functions to add some new plate definitions, copy, modify, and you can even export, import if you want to share some of those with other lab members, for example. Let me give you a quick overview of how one of these looks like. I'm going to open a standard 96 well plate definition, this one. I'm going to click on View, Modify. This is how the interface looks like. It could look intimidating because there are a lot of parameters that define your vessel, but in reality, a lot of those we're just going to reuse as is, as you will see soon. On this interface, what you can see, there is this top section here that I'm highlighting that defines the overall shape of your labware and its size. The section right under this first section defines the number of wells or the number of imaging locations and their exact dimensions. Finally, there is a button on the right that you can see here called Imaging Parameters. I'm going to click this, and that brings you to parameters that are really specific to imaging, and in particular what I was telling you about, which is defining where your sample, your actual cells are located relative to your system so that focus works properly. And that is this top parameter that you can see right here called bottom elevation. We'll spend a little more time on this in the next section.